Hey, good morning. We're sitting here in Kansas. We've only seen 4 deer so far. It's shortly after 8 o'clock, but the deer have been moving. It seemed like a little bit later in the day. Plus, we got, I think, 14, 15 mile per hour wind out of the northwest right now. But right out the gate, about 5 minutes before shooting light, there was a doe and her 2 yearlings, and then it looked like her 2 fawns, and then a yearling from last year that came right to the east of us here, but there wasn't any bucks following them. Now last night I didn't end up taking off about noon and headed up here to Kansas to hunt last night, and I did end up seeing, I saw 2 small little bucks out here in the Frigid Forge food plot. And on the far east hand side there, I put out some corn and some analogic supplement gold there a couple weeks ago, and those deer just flat hammered that. I pulled that camera card there last night, and then I brought it up there to the house and checked all that, and there was I think there was probably 500-600 pictures of deer. I got 1 deer in particular that I'm hunting. There's a couple other ones I've seen during season, but they're kind of hit and miss, just traveling through here. But there's 1 deer that's been staying pretty consistent throughout this particular piece of property that I like to get my hands on, if I'm able to. I do have the 308 there, but it's kind of been slow, like I said, but the mid-morning movement ought to be picking up here. Last couple of days it's been pretty active, right around that 8:30 all the way to 10 o'clock mark. But with that wind, there's just no telling. But we do have that big front moving through here. It's supposed to be hitting, I think, about 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. So I'd imagine that those deer ought to be up on their feet this evening. So if you're able to get out there and hunt over a food source, I'd highly recommend that. I think it's supposed to be an east-northeast wind tomorrow when that snow hits. I think we're supposed to get somewhere between 2 and 6 inches here in Kansas. So, I think tonight's probably going to be a great night to get out there. I'll hunt pretty hard. Another thing that I've been getting my deer back into is some mineral dirt from Analogic, and that they have also flat hammered that. I actually had a 3.5-year-old that he came out right at dusk. There was a doe. I looked back here to the east and ended up seeing a doe there, and I thought, well, I bet you I need to check that our fence line right here into our woods. And then sure enough, he was right there at the fence line, and I glassed him for a little bit. Just wasn't anything I wanted to shoot, but he jumped over the fence there and instantly came right to the Analogic mineral dirt. So that kind of tells me that those deer are really starting to look for that mineral, anything that their body's missing. And I'd highly recommend running some of that Analogic mineral dirt along with the rest of the Analogic products. But right now, the deer movement's been pretty steady. There's still those big bucks; they are still moving. Now it's not, as consistent as what we got to see during the rut, portion of November. But it's still a great time to get outside. Not only just kind of viewing wildlife, but also, you may have a chance at harvesting a mature deer. I've been up here. It's kind of been, slow, but this particular blind has been up here 20 years. This year, October 5th was the 20th anniversary of this particular blind, and it's kind of interesting whether you're sitting back in a tree stand or a ground blind, or a mobile blind, or a stationary blind. It's always very interesting, when you visit that particular piece of property, whether it's public or private ground, or even the tree that you climbed up in, just to kind of think about the memories that have been made, the times that you've spent with your family and friends, throughout those journeys. It's just definitely a great time, to kind of just remember, your past, the history, and the memories that you've made. But it's still a good time to get out there, guys. It can be frustrating sitting out there in that cold, wintry weather, when it's 12, 15, 10 degree, northwest wind right there at your face or at your back. It can be miserable, but it's, right now I just be trying to get out there as much as I can, hunt smart, especially on pieces of property that haven't been pressured that much, and just time your hunts. I've been running the K-Link, the Moultries, and then the Brownings, all three of their cellular products. And right now, the Browning trail cameras have been extremely impressive to me. I'm actually thinking about switching my Moultries up here in Kansas to Brownings. I just think that those cameras have got a good solid package there. And where I think I'm able to run, I think 1,200 pictures, 50 HD downloads for, I think it's like $18.99 a month. So that works out pretty good for what I'm needing there. But hopefully you guys are getting out there some and enjoying nature. And best of luck on your guys' upcoming hunt. And we'll move on to the Browning trail camera videos.